Hello! So, the geniuses at Fabfilter have released an update to their compressor plugin, Pro C. This one is Pro C 3, and today I just want to have a look at the sidechain features because they are extensive and absolutely incredible. Here we go. Now let's start firstly with the internal filter. Hit sidechain on here and it releases this bottom section with what looks very similar to their EQ setup in Pro Q 3/4. Now what this is showing is how much of the signal is going to be triggering the compressor. So at the moment, because we haven't really filtered anything out apart from a little bit of sub below 30 Hertz, anything that goes into a compressor is going to get triggered. So essentially the full signal. I'm going to show you that in action with a drum bus. So this is without the compressor and then I'll engage it halfway through. So you notice there that the kick drum really started to pump that signal all over the place because low end can be an absolute killer for compressors. It just gets in there and takes control of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the filter here so it's not looking at the low end. So essentially that big kick drum should no longer be triggering the compressor. So watch that filter, and as I raise it, you'll hear the kick drum come through. It's going to be much fatter and it's not going to be taking over the signal like it was before. Now, instantly, that drum bus is breathing much more, and that is all the result of that internal filter on the sidechain. We could take that one step further, add another filter like you would do in Pro Q. I'm going to drag this down and basically going to hone in on just a snare. So keep an eye on that. You'll already be able to see where the snare hits. And I'm going to focus just on that and then just listen to how the snare is now getting most of the compression. Now, there's so much more you can do with that, but let's leave that there for now. We're going to move on to the next bit. All right, next up, let's look at the external sidechain. So what I've got here is a bass guitar, and what I'm doing is with this key input here, I've taken a send from the kick drum on the drum kit, and that's being fed into the plugin. So then every time the kick drum hits, that's gonna essentially trigger the compressor and compressor signal on the bass guitar. As you're probably aware, it's a common trick to help tighten up your low ends to have the kick drum just nudge the bass guitar out the way just for a brief second, so they're not always occupying the same space and you get a little bit more clarity. So this is what it sounds like as it is. And now I'm going to engage the external sidechain input here. And every time that kick drum hits, it's just going to pull down the signal of the bass guitar a little bit. What I'll do is as it goes on, I'll accentuate that so you can really hear what it's doing. It's going to sound crazy, but just so you can really notice what it's actually doing to the signal. There you go. So you can see it's actually taken off, once I pulled it back to a reasonable level, taken off about 6 dB of gain reduction, which is quite a lot there. But in the context of a signal, you're not really noticing it getting taken away from the bass. But in the grand scheme of the mix, it will help to give you that little bit more space. Now, just sticking on the external input for one more moment. Here's just another example of another way to use it, is to use it on vocal effects, like on a reverb or a delay. So anytime the vocal is playing, it ducks out the signal of the effect. And then when a vocal stops, then you hear the effect just afterwards. So it helps to clean things up. I've done a whole video on this, so go and check that out if you haven't already. So have a listen to the vocal and what the delay is doing afterwards. This is without the compressor on it.
This is the time to pull apart the lie.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage that compressor. I've got external input and I'm feeding it with a send that I've sent from the vocal itself. And now you only hear the delay come up until the vocal has finished. Here it comes.
This is the time to pull apart the lie.
So I've made that quite extreme just so you can really hear it. But in the context of a mix, it will really add up and it will really make sense. So let's try it in context very quickly.
This is the time to pull apart the lie.
And there you go. Let's move on. Okay, next up is the MIDI input. Now you can set it up to just take an input from a MIDI keyboard if you want, but in this case, I'm going to use a MIDI track. What I've done is I've got a MIDI track of the kick drum here. We're going to be doing a similar thing that I did with the bass guitar and the kick drum. So this whole first half is exactly what the kick drum was playing. And then this second half, and this is where it gets interesting, is I just have the note on the first beat of the bar. The point being that you can get a little bit more specific with exactly what you want it to trigger. Now again, I'm going to exaggerate it so you can really hear what it's doing. This is the first half, which is taking a MIDI note from every kick drum. And now if we go to the second half, this is just taking it from the first beat of the bar. Now, I know that sounds a bit crazy to start off with, but hopefully you can start to see how you can get really creative and how useful having a MIDI input can be for loads of different parts in your mix. Last up is the host sync. Now, usually you'd use this on like a dance track or something, but I've got a rock song loaded up, so we're just going to do something fun with that. Now, what's cool about this is now it's going to receive an input from essentially the song. So over here, you can choose how you want it to respond. It's going to be paying attention to whatever the BPM of the song is, and then you can choose from the note denominations here how you want it to react. So I've got a guitar here, as I said, strange choice, but it does matter. And it's going to be receiving a quarter note as its input, so let's just hear it bypass, and then I'm going to engage it so you can hear it. So you can hear how it's ducking on the quarter note there. But you can get really creative, and let's go to 16th note and see what that happens. I'll show you one after the other. So I've just made it a little bit more subtle just to give it a little bit more of a usable effect. But for fun, let's hear it in a mix. So there you go. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, but as you can imagine, there's loads of cool things you can do with that. And what I really like about it is the fact that it just takes information from a session itself, so you don't have to spend time creating a 4 on the floor kick or something like that to create the trigger. It already does it for you. Very cool. That is it for now. Thank you very much for watching. I'd love to hear about all the creative things you're doing to make use of the sidechain features in this plugin, because they are extensive and there's just so much you can do. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye for now.